Okay, I think we're live. Hi, everyone. Happy International Women's Day. My name is Dulce. I'm the campaign coordinator of Voto Latino, and I'm so excited to kick off the live stream with some pretty amazing folks. So, before we do that, make sure you give us a like, share, and if you want to drop us a comment, we'll be spotlighting them throughout the program and near the end. So, it's International Women's Day, and I thought, what a better way to kick off today than to spend it with some amazing people that I work with and to also uplift them. So you'll get a chance to meet some of the people that I work with and their role, and they'll share some insight on how they feel about the movement and what we can do to keep empowering other women and girls, especially immigrant women and girls in the U.S. today and across at the border. So again, to kick it off, I'm going to popcorn it off to my colleague Camille. But before that, please give us a like and share. If you're, again, tuning in live, let us know in the comments what you think, where you're all zooming in from. What are you doing today on International Women's Day? So, Camille, take it away.
Hey y'all, my name is Camille. Happy International Women's Day. It's so exciting to be here on live with my coworkers. This is awesome. At Voto Latino, I am the Partnerships Associate. In my role, I support relationships with our corporate, nonprofit, and grassroots partners. I work with our partners to support programming and events that engages and empowers our community. I got involved in this work because I am super passionate about empowering young people to use their voice and to be active participants in their communities. I started this work by running voter registration drives and leading my university's campus in voting initiatives. I think what's so incredible about Voto Latino and the work that us four do is that we really work to just amplify the voices of women and young women. So, I just think it's so fitting, again, that we're having this conversation today. And I am so eager to share our energy on this stream today. Leslie, I will popcorn it to you if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here. My name is Leslie. I'm the digital associate here at VL, and I work a lot on all of our digital needs, basically creating like advocacy forms, working on our email program, working on our SMS program, which is huge for VL because during COVID, we've all gone digital. So helping uplift through online actions has been great. I got involved into this work. I've lived in the DMV area, the DC, Maryland, Virginia area my whole life. I've always been attracted to politics. And when I got the opportunity to work at VL, just jumped at the chance. It's such a great organization. As Camille said, helping to uplift women and people of color. So yeah, really excited to be here. Popcorn over to Brianna.
Hey y'all, Brianna Carmen. I'm the Director of Organizing and Partnerships at Voto Latino, and I am super excited to celebrate International Women's Day and celebrate some mighty mujeres basically every day for all the hard work that they do. So I saw a comment from Josie, congratulations to all. So again, congratulations to all the fierce Latinas who are, in the streets, pushing for change and working in their communities to make the world a better place. It's really, resting on our shoulders, and I know we're advocating for everyone. So I'm super grateful to be here. At Voto Latino, I run the campaigns team. So that means I work with amazing folks like Camille and Dulce, and we plan out programs to help engage change. We did a petition to get Ted Cruz out of office because he went on vacation before doing any work a couple weeks ago. We've done, texting to get people registered to vote, remind friends to vote. When coronavirus was at its peak and really challenging and changing the electoral landscape, we sent out 6.8 million text messages just to remind people, here's your polling place, here are the hours if they changed, here's what you need to know so that way you can vote safely, whether that's by mail or in person in different states that we work in. So Camille, Dulce, and I really just run the gamut on programs and figuring out ways to bring in people to volunteer with us anywhere in the community to, activate around important issues that the Latinx community works on, whether that's immigration, healthcare, access to the COVID vaccine, making sure that people are paid a fair wage for the work that they do and making sure that they can reach their full potential. So really excited to be here. And Dulce, I will kick it over to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really couldn't think of a better way to spend International Women's Day with some of these amazing folks. So I'm super excited y'all got to meet and hear more from them. I think a lot of times when we do this work, we tend to forget that it's a labor of love. And I think now was the perfect time to just express my gratitude, with working with all you amazing ladies. And the work that we've done is just so amazing. And yeah, Brianna, you mentioned that we did, I don't know, like a whole bunch of texts, and that was all thanks to all the volunteers that were watching and, participating with us. So if you're a volunteer and you're watching, thank you. We could not have done the work that we have done without you. So I really appreciate y'all too, and again, I think one of the reasons why we also wanted to get together today is to make sure that we use our platform as well, to really highlight the needs of other women and girls, right? We mentioned today that we want to use our platform to mention the needs of immigrant women and girls around the US. And, who are we talking about? We're talking about dreamers, we're talking about farm workers, we're talking about essential workers, we're talking about TPS holders. Before we have our two amazing guests that are going to be popping in later today, we have a representative from the White House and our very own President CEO later on. Before then, I want to just ask really quickly, Brianna, you're in Texas right now. And I know Texas just went through something really, traumatic. There was a deadly snowstorm. Before we have our guests in, can you just, talk a little bit about what are immigrant women and girls facing in Texas or in your area right now at the moment?
Yeah, so thanks for, level setting and grounding us. And I think, what we tend to forget is that there are 23 million plus immigrant women and children in the United States who we interact with every day. And there are challenges that our community faces where we don't necessarily hear about these individuals, just hardships, especially during times like a couple weeks back when Texas had this deadly snowstorm, dozens of people died, where you're trying to seek aid and there are community warming centers and you have families who are, mixed status who might be afraid to go to these public shelters and seek support because they're afraid of getting, asked about their citizenship status. They're afraid for their mom and dad or their siblings who might not be in the country with the documentation that is needed. We are also seeing, the challenge with this coronavirus relief where, millions of Americans got a check for a little bit over $1,000. A lot of these families were left out, even though they pay taxes. So in states like Texas, we really see that hardship because all of these difficulties just compound and it makes it really challenging where we have people that are part of our communities that are suffering in silence, and that's not okay.
Yeah, 100%. I think our community has really endured 4 years of really just, one chaos. My God, my Spanglish. I was going to say atrás del otro, but it's okay. We're Voto Latino, so Spanglish, I guess, is okay. Trump and Stephen Miller really used 900 executive orders to really hammer down on our community. So I'm super excited to have a guest from our White House. I'm not sure if she's in it already. Norberto will let us know in the waiting room. But hang on tight. If you're watching, we're gonna have a special guest who's gonna talk more about a recent immigration reform bill and then how you can take action. Not sure if we have them in yet. We do. Brianna, hand it over to you.
Awesome. So we're really grateful to welcome Taylor Moran, the Special Assistant to the President for Immigration for the Domestic Policy Council. She previously served as the Executive Director of the Immigration Hub, a project of the Emerson Collective. and was a senior policy advisor to Senate Democratic leader Harry Reid. Tyler, we're so grateful that you can join this conversation with Maria Teresa Kumar, Voto Latino's CEO and president. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to you, Maria Teresa, to engage this conversation and help us learn a little bit more about what we can do to engage our community to support women and girls today and every day. And Maria Teresa, I think you might be on mute.
So before we get started, Tyler, thank you for making the time, but I just wanted to do a tremendous shout out to the women at VL. They are the ones that wake up every single morning trying to figure out how can we get you more excited about government, more physically and technically engaged so that we can make change. And so I want to congratulate every single one of you because you guys are mis guerreras and the fierce ones. So, and Dulce, Spanglish is always welcomed. But thank you so much. And Tyler, I want to take this moment to, first of all, thank you for all the work that you've done leading up to where you are right now at the White House. One of the things oftentimes when we talk about Women and International Women's Day, first of all, it's every day, right, ladies? It's every day. But Tyler, how did you get to this work? How did you get from, your grassroots, your policy to the White House?
So I have an unstable internet connection, so I might switch to my phone. So I'm sorry if I'm interrupting.
No.
I think you asked how I got to this work. I've been doing this for 25 years. I was a teacher when I first got out of college, and I went to graduate school to get my master's in education. I took a class right after the 1996 immigration and welfare laws had passed and learned about how due process was gutted and healthcare was taken away. And it just changed my life. And I've been working on immigration policy ever since. I've mainly been in the nonprofit world, but worked for President Obama on DACA and on the 2013 bill, and then Harry Reid. And after the last 4 years, just felt really motivated to come back into government to help bring some humanity and fairness back to our system.
And what have you found most surprising working with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris?
I'm going to have to call into my phone. I'm going to call into my phone, you guys.
Okay. So
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to call into my phone. I'm having some major problems on the computer. I apologize.
No, do not apologize. We understand.
No problem. It's working from home. So Maria Teresa, I'd actually love to turn it over to you. I know you've been doing this work for decades and really interested in hearing. Tyler, is that you?
That's fantastic.
Oh, perfect.
So we still have you. That's great. That's fantastic. This is a cool angle. So Tyler, you were sharing, my follow-up question to you was really, now that you are inside the White House, how is it working with Joe Biden? How is it working with Vice President Kamala Harris? And I ask because oftentimes people say, well, what is different about this administration than others? And one is people voted like overwhelmingly for change. And two, we have activists and people who are on the front lines on the inside in ways that we haven't seen. So what perspectives can you offer us?
It's so incredible. There are so many women leaders now. I mean, starting with the vice president, which is just incredible, to Ambassador Rice, the head of DPC, to the entire leadership of the comms team, to the political team. I mean, I am working with strong, smart, amazing women every single day who are making key decisions about government. This is the rule, not the exception, which is just something really, really new. And I've been doing this for 25 years. So it's just incredible. And, Maria Teresa, there's incredible women across government that I have known and worked with for years. And for us to be able to be on the inside trying to realize the president's vision is just incredible.
Well, and how are you shaping from your background? How are you helping shape the president's vision?
Well, he signed 11 executive actions in the first year. And so we have a roadmap, right? And so what we're doing every day is we're working with the agencies, everything from the Family Reunification Task Force, then here's his bill that went to Congress on day one, to the Legal Immigration Executive Action, which literally asks the agencies, we want you to review every policy, memo, regulation, and come up with a plan that aligns with the president's vision. So there is so much to do all across government. But like we have our marching orders. And so we're just like, you know, one step in front of the other. I mean, the one thing I say to people is we just need a little patience because there's so much to do. Realize that there's like, you know, so many priority areas, but believe me, you know, me and my colleague Esther, who's been doing this, like we are just 1,000% committed to really restoring like a fair immigration system, implementing everything that the president signed and put in front of us.
And so Tyler, I know that we have you for just a couple more minutes. And I just, you know, the folks that you're talking to right now at Voto Latino, they helped bring Biden into office. The women that you see right here helped mobilize and register over 612,000 voters, including the Georgia election in just 8 battleground states. They helped mobilize and target 3.9 million low propensity voters. 79% of the people that Voto Latino registers vote. So we can't wait for the voting card. But the most important part is that 71% of them were under the age of 33. And over 58% of the people that we registered were young women. And so when we talk about International Women's Day, when we talk about the power of the vote, you're talking a little bit about the executive orders that the president is putting together. What can people do? One of the things that's absolutely right now on our radar, student debt is on our radar, but we'll park that there. But the other thing that's really on our radar is the US Citizenship Act. Can you talk a little bit about that? And then more, as importantly, what can we do now that we have an enfranchised group of Americans paying attention to help make sure that it passes?
Absolutely. And first of all, thank you for all of your incredible work. Really, it's amazing. So as you said, there's a lot you can do administratively, but honestly, only Congress can give people legal status. And we have 11 million undocumented immigrants in this country. Almost half of them are women. And so we really need to put them on a path to legal status. So it does that. It also reforms the legal immigration system. We know that families are waiting for 20 years to reunify together. We need more green cards. We need to clear out the backlogs. That's part of the bill. And then lastly, he has a vision for the border. Like we can't keep dealing with the situations where we're just focused on a wall. Like we need to deal with the root migration, the root causes why people come here. Women are fleeing sexual, domestic violence. They are targeted because of their gender. We need to reform our asylum laws. And we just need to make sure that people are able to come here and seek asylum. So what people can do is, inside the Beltway can get very contentious about immigration and nasty, but we know the American public actually supports reform. And so people should use their voices, talk to your members of Congress, write letters to the editor, pull together public events, just tell the story from your own perspective. What I want to tell people is like, you don't need to be an expert on immigration policy. All you need to do is tell your story and your reality. You know, so maybe it's speaking as from perspective of an immigrant. Maybe you're a teacher. Maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you're, you know, whatever you do, the immigration system, it's so broken, it's going to impact you. And so just use your voice. We want to bring humanity back to the immigration system, and that can only come from individuals like you.
And Tyler, you mentioned about, families that have waited up to 20 years. That is the truth for some of the staff at Voto Latino. This is a very personal movement for Voto Latino, for our community, but also for our families and for the folks that work here. So I want to thank you so much for your work, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, what singular advice do you have for a young woman tuning in today to go from grassroots organizing to the White House and shape policy?
Tenacious optimism.
I love that. I think we need a t-shirt, ladies, on that. Tenacious optimism.
Persistence, like you know your voice. Don't back down. I don't know how many times I was told you can't do this or wait your turn and do this and that. All that is true.
Yes.
Put your head down, work your tail off. You are, you know what I mean? If you're doing your hard work, you're contributing, people are going to notice, but just don't give up and don't ever be intimidated. Just literally plow forward. The future is female.
We'll use that hashtag as well. Tyler, thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Thank you for spending some time with us. We reach an audience, roughly, we have 3 million people in our audience, and monthly we reach around 8 to 11 million people a month. So it's hopefully this will go far and wide, and we're just grateful for the work that you're doing. One last thing, actually.
Yeah.
How do you take care of you?
Oh, geez. I try to go outside as much as possible when I'm at home, like I am now. I always try to take hikes and walks. And before COVID, tried to do yoga. You know, you really deep breathing, ladies. I didn't learn that until my late 40s. Really really is a thing. You know, take time for yourself. You know, the work can consume you 24/7. And I know a lot of us are so committed, but you really do need to take a break for yourself or you're going to burn out. So please.
We can't afford burnout. We have tons to do. But Tyler, thank you for that, for your message. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for your commitment. Yeah. And to the ladies at Voto Latino, thank you for making this happen.
Oh, seriously, incredible work. Thank you.
Be well. Bye-bye. Thank you. And I am off, but I want to thank each and every single one of you. You heard directly from the White House that Voto Latino endorsed a candidate this time for the very first time. And when we did, we had a list of demands. And one of them was a type of comprehensive immigration reform. And you just heard from Tyler Moran that she's working on it, that the president's working on it. That's top of mind for Congress. And that's only because you all turned out, you committed to voting, and you brought your friends and family. A special shout out to Brianna for an incredible team that she has managed to put together. Camille is I was about to say a bad word, but I can't. So, but Leslie is the one that helps you craft the email. So when you get an email from Voto Latino, that is Leslie doing it all. Dulce is the one that makes sure that not only do we put your feet to your fire, but we always say, can you please volunteer one more time? Because our collective volunteerism, our collective people power is what brought us change at the White House, and we're eternally grateful. So thank you to the ladies of Voto Latino for all that you do and for your commitment to our community. Muchísimas gracias. Hasta pronto. You guys, it's been a year almost since we've seen each other in community, so this is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, and happy International Women's Day, MT.
Igualmente.
Awesome. So we just had an amazing guest, well, two amazing guests. And again, just to bring us back to our next item, the Postcard Project. You know, where do we go from here? You know, there was a lot of talk about, being persistent and, maintaining, pressure to make sure that we get this done, right? So just to make sure that we all are on the same page, on February 18th, the US Citizenship Act of 2021 was unveiled by the sitting president, Joseph Biden, and then formally introduced to Congress by Representative Linda Sanchez, a Democrat from California, and Senator Robert Menendez, or Bob Menendez, also Democrat from New Jersey, also introduced it now into Senate. So these two, this act is now pieces of legislation in our House of Representatives and in the Senate. So we need to make sure now that we get it done, that we get it to the finish line. Again, I just want to remind y'all, who are we talking about here? You know, when we talk about TPS holders, I'm instantly reminded about Cecilia Martinez in Long Island, who mobilized an enormous amount of people and groups across in New York and to mobilize for TPS. She was a mother, a single mother with 2 children, who she's just fighting to stay here and to be with her children and to maintain her livelihood. You know, when we're talking about dreamers, we're talking about my friend Angel, who's also, fighting to make sure that he stays with his newborn daughter, and, that he gets to go back to his home country and see his mom again, who was deported when he was a teenager. You know, we're talking about farm workers and, all these essential workers day in and day out that do so much for our country. And we need to make sure that we step up and we get this done. So I'm gonna introduce our Postcard Project. Essentially, what does it do? We want to mobilize our communities. We're still in a COVID era, unfortunately, so we have to use the tools at our disposal, and that's some fun relational organizing. So what you can do now is order your postcards, and here's the awesome, here's what they look like. The link, if you can pull it up, Norberto, please, so that people know where to order their postcards. And Camille, I'll popcorn it over to you so that folks know what to do once they get it.
Sounds great. So visit this link right now. We'll also send it to y'all. So visit votolatino.org/postcards to order your pack of 3. For me, during quarantine, during this year of COVID, one of my most favorite activities has been receiving and sending mail to all of my friends. So we're really channeling that energy and also adding a component of organizing to it because, we really need to work to pass this act. So once you order your 3 postcards, pick out which 3 lucky friends, family members you want to send them to. Add their name and address to the back, as well as a handwritten note about, why you're stepping up to show up for immigrant women and girls by advancing USCA 21. There is a QR code on the back of the card itself. So whoever you send your postcard to, they'll be able to scan that with their phone and take direct action with us by either emailing or tweeting at their member of Congress to make sure that, this act gets passed. I will kick it over to Leslie, our digital queen, to talk more about, what the process is like to sign up to receive the postcard.
Yeah, thank you, Camille. So basically, you'll just click the link on the bottom of the screen, go to votolatino.org/postcards, and fill out your name, your address, your email, and we'll get those postcards sent out to you really quickly.
Thank you so much, team. And again, if y'all are watching, please make sure that you order your postcards. If you can't order your postcards or not in the mood to, it's totally okay. You can still advocate now and email and tweet your representatives. All you have to do is go to votolatino.org/citizenship act now. And you can email and tweet your representative right now. But again, the objective is to get the word out, get as much support. Not that we need it. We already know that 1 in 3 voters, 31%, of Americans support citizenship now. So thank you all for watching. I'll hand it over to Brianna to close us off with some empowerment message.
Some words of wisdom, Dulce. But again, just from, the heart of Voto Latino and everyone on this, live stream right now, we are so grateful for y'all joining us and hanging out for a lunchtime power hour, learning a little bit about the United States Citizenship Act of 2021 from Tyler Moran, who's doing the work at the White House and really pushing for our community, from our CEO and President, María Teresa Kumar, and really to hone it back and say that, women and, girls are so important to our community. We do so much for others, and we want to make sure that we are represented. So please claim your pack of 3 postcards to send to 3 amazing women, friends, girls, amigas, chingonas in your life, and ask them to reach out and support the United States Citizenship Act of 2021. As Tyler mentioned, only Congress has the ability to determine who is a citizen in the United States. So we are really advocating for dreamers, for TPS holders, for mixed status households who we all know, whether it's ourselves, our friends, our neighbors, and making sure that we're just building a better community for everyone involved. So thank you so much from the Voto Latino team for celebrating International Women's Day with us, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone.
Thank you all so much.
Bye. Thank you.